Yeah. Hare Krishna, dear devotees, please accept our humble obeisances. All glories to Jagat Guru Shri Prabhupada. All glories to our beloved speaker for today, His Grace Ishwara Prabhu, who needs no introduction. And all glories to the assembled Vaishnavi devotees. We thank you for being here as always. Today is the 4th day of June 2026. And today is Thursday. The last time I checked about some of the amazing activities that take place in the month of June is that the month of June is the month we have most marriage weddings. So in this month of June, we're going to have wedding with the word of Krishna in the Srimad Bhagavatam. This is our month of wedding with Srimad Bhagavatam. And the whole of this month, by Sri Guru Krishna's grace, we have amazing devotees to help us achieve that. So, Ishwara Prabhu, as always, thank you so much for being here. And without further ado, we may put the verses on the screen and you take it over. You handle it the way you see it fit. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Narayana Namaskritya Narayachava Narotaman Devam Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamadiraye Nastapaye Swabhadresu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavatuttama Sloke Bhakti Bhavati Naistike Vede Ramane Chaiva Purane Bharate Tata Hado Adya Chamade Chahari Sabata Gayate Mukam Kartu Bhachalam Pango Langarate Gri Yakripata Vande Sri Guru Dinatarine Paramananda Madhava Dhamma Prajuta Katabota Paramoni Masham Satan Vedan Vastavam Atavasdam Sivadan Trapataya Molana Sima Bhagavate Mahamuni Kinteki Vai Paraishvara Sadhuridi Avarudi Trakatibita Krishnan Nigama Kappa Galitan Phalam Sukam Mukan Travasambutan Bhagavatam Bhagavatam Basarama Rasamalayan Maura Urasika Bhuvibabuka Yashava Yashamanayan Krishna Parama Puruse Bhakti Uttabade Punza Sukamo Abhaya Paha Hatoyam Brahmasutranam Bharatata Vininaya Gayati Bacharupo Sobedata Paribimita Sababiditya Sanam Saram Saram Paribimita Sababedatan Saram Hi Sri Bhagavatam Vishete Tara Samvita Shatipta Shanayata Sharati Kochit Krishna Yabasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nanda Gopa Kumaraya Govindaya Namo Naman Vasudeva Sutan Devam Kansachanuramadanam Devaki Paramananda Krishna Bhandi Jagaguru Namamo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pishtaya Bhutali Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharini Nevise Sasunya Bhadi Pashatyati Shatarini Banchakapatarubhya Sakripa Sundubhya Bacha Patitanam Pavanabhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Anandalila Maya Vigrahaya Imabadavi Chavisundaraya Tasma Mahaprema Sapadayo Chaitanya Chandra Namaste. So I thank everyone. I'm not going to be reading the verse now, so no need to put the verse on the board. I thank everyone for being here this evening for the nightly Hare Krishna Africa Bhagavad Gita Forum. I'm speaking from Vrindavan. Of course, here depending on where you are in the world, here in Vrindavan is hot. This is our summer season. Normally we average 37, 38, usually go up to 45 degrees, which is like 120 degrees Fahrenheit in America. So, but it's okay. We are used to it. As they say, there is no easy, let's see, if you want to go to the spiritual world, like as they say, ease of life and spiritual life do not go together. So which means if you're looking for comfort, at the same time, you're looking to attain spirituality, and it's not something has to be given, some kind of austerity has to be performed. But like Location is saying, he said, Tapashare was the Tapashare local view. They said that by austerity, this material world is created. Just like Lord Brahma, he performed austerity for 36,000 earthly years, thousands of years of demigods' life in order to create the universe. Also, we've been reading about the two demoniac brothers, Hiranyakashipu, Hiranyaksha. We know that they have to Hiranyakashipu, especially, he had to perform austerity for thousands of years just to become very powerful. So if for material success, one has to perform austerity just to get material success. And material success will give you temporary benefit. Even though it will last many, many years, still is temporary. Because the whole nature of material world is everything is temporary. So how much more of something that is going to give you an eternal benefit, an everlasting benefit? So which means something must be given. And that's why, as they said that for devotee, they said that the austerity is always the wealth. As they say, the wealth of the Brahmana is austerity. That's their wealth, renunciation. So therefore, when we're here in Vrindavan, so we did not come here to enjoy materialistic life. We come here to enjoy, we come here to see how we can get close to the Lord. So therefore, the Lord do not give us that, that comfort. So therefore, the summertime is very hot and the wintertime is very cold. So that's it. So we have been discussing this, and of course, if some of you, if you've been following nicely, that we're in the month of Purushottam, the Purushottam Mass that we are in, and it's a very, very special month. Now, Saudi Prabhu is talking of wedding over there, but in Purushottam Mass, there's no such a thing as wedding. No, especially here in India, from now on, for the next several months, there'll be no such a thing as wedding. People are going to a place of pilgrimage and all that stuff because the Purushottam Mass is here, and there's going to be about 2-week break because Purushottam Mass will finish on the June 15th. Then there'll be 2-week break, and then Chaturmasya will begin. Chaturmasya means 4 months, which is when Lord Vishnu supposedly go to sleep, and then no such a thing as wedding. The wedding starts at the end of Chaturmasya, not before that. So those who are strictly following the Vedic principles, so they know that. And Purushottam Mass is a very special month because it's called Purushottam Mass because Krishna says, I am this month itself. Normally it's called Adhika Mass or Mala Mass. Mars means month, and Mala means a useless month. And what's it called? Why is it called a useless month? Because it's a month whereby there's no Vedic prescription for any kind of sacrifice, anything like that. Because generally there are 12 months, the lunar month, and every month there's always particular sacrifice that needs to be done to various demigods, different jaguars for a particular month. But in the Adic Malamas, there's no recommendation for that month because it's a month that comes at every 3 years. It's actually to harmonize the lunar month and then the lunar calendar and solar calendar. And normally the solar calendar is longer and the lunar calendar is shorter. So to harmonize both of them, so every 3 years or so, an extra month is added. So, and this is called Malamas, or this is called Adikmas. So, and because this month, nothing is prescribed in the Vedic scriptures as far as the sacrifice is concerned. So this month, the personification of this month went to Lord Vishnu, saying that all the other months, they are making fun of me. So what to do? So the Lord said, I will become the month. I become the deity of the month myself. So therefore it's called Purushottam. The Lord Krishna, the Lord is Purushottam. And because this month is identical with the Lord himself, so it's called Arivasa. Arivasa means what is non-different from the Lord. Just like in his song, Slabhatim Thakur, he says, Sudabhakata Charana Rena, Bhajana Anukula. So he said that the Sudha Bhakti and the pure Bhakti. And then he said, Madhavati iti Bhakti Charana, that no, Madhavati iti Bhakti Janani, which means Madhavati. What is Madhavati? Madhavati means what is considered to be, it's called Arivasara. Arivasara means this is the Lord himself. And what is Arivasara? Like every Ekadasi day is the Lord of Hari, the days of Janmashtami, is the day of Lord Hari, and the Kartik Mass, the month of Kartik, is not even from the Lord, and the Purushottam Mass. So any devotional activities that one perform in this month, usually one will get thousand times much more benefit than the older months. So normally many devotees, they usually increase their particular sadhana in this month. Normally devotee will take extra vow. Like let's say instead of chanting 60 rounds, maybe you want to chant 32 rounds or more. Most devotees here in India, they will chant 64 rounds. Of course, those who are here in Vrindavan, they do pilgrimage, they do parikrams every day, which we do. So depending on whatever things you do in this month, you will get the result, hundreds of times much more than the normal months. So this month is very, very, very special month. So the devotees normally take this month very, very serious. So now we go to our topic here on the Bhagavatam. So actually, because the today's verse, it's dealing with the aspect of creation. It's dealing with the creation. And since I've been so much talk about the Jan Vijay, and I saw some kind of communication on the forum today in terms of the identity of John Vijay, what they are, what they are not. So I decided that maybe I should say something more on John Vijay instead of speaking on the creation. Because after all, actually this verse, today's verse, which based on conversation between Vidura and Maitreya. And Maitreya just finished hearing about the pastimes, especially the pastimes of killing Hiranyaksha by Lord Vishnu. Now the Vidura now he is asking Maitreya Muni much more questions. He want to know about creation. He want to know about the beginning. Sometimes when we give lectures, sometimes people say, "Oh, we want to hear Krishna Katha. Tell us Krishna. We want to hear about Krishna Katha. They don't want to hear about this details about the philosophical. Just want to hear about Krishna Katha. But what is Krishna Katha? Krishna Katha has to do with any aspect of the Lord. That is Krishna Katha. Krishna Katha is not just when Lord Krishna is performing the pastimes in Vrindavan, having a relationship with the gopis. That is not just Krishna Katha. Every activity of the Lord is all Krishna Katha. The whole Bhagavatam, right from the first verse, which says, Jamandiya Shayata, Itara Abhigana Swara, right from the first verse to the last verse. The last verse is Nama Sankirtana Yashya. That's the last verse of the Bhagavatam. Start with Nama Sankirtana Yashya. So the first verse states that from whom that everything has emanated. From him that everything has emanated, and that person who is the supreme independent, Abhigyan Swara means supreme independent. It's actually a very, very, very nice verse, which Vyasadeva first composed. This verse, and then the last verse of Bhagavatam is Nama Sankirtana Yashya. We start with by chanting of whom everything is attained, which means all the ill effect of Kali Yuga is so completely neutralized. One attain the freedom from this material world by chanting his name. So it's all about Krishna Katha. It's not just Krishna Katha is not just by hearing those sweet leelas. It's also when you hear about the Lord's creation. So when Vidura was asking Maitreya Muni, even though Maitreya Muni just came from listening to Lord Krishna, because Lord Krishna was instructing Uddhava. Lord Krishna instructed Uddhava in Prabhash. He instructed Uddhava, very, very detailed teaching. So Maitreya Muni is a man of immense experience. But Vidura, knowing that, so he didn't just ask him that, no, just tell me, just my Lord Krishna, just tell me whatever Lord Krishna tell you. No, he wants to know about everything, about the Lord creation, about everything, how everything has begun. And which is what, so in the Bhagavatam, whereby in the second canto, text number 10, no, chapter 10, the text number 1, we say Atasagubishagascha Stanam Posana Utaya Manvatara Sanukata Nirodo Muktyasraya, whereby it's talking about the 10 topics which are there in this Bhagavatam. There are 10 subject matter of Bhagavatam. And these 10 subject matters are creation, which are Shaga, then the sub-creation, the creation, the sub-creation, then the planetary systems, sternum, the planetary system, then the protection by the Lord, the creative impetus, then the change of the manners, Manva Teresa, then Isanukata, the science of God. Talks about the Isa means the Lord, Isanukata means the topics of the Lord, Isanukata. Then what is that? Niroldo, it means returning home. Then back to God liberation, and this Samanbanam. So these are 10 subjects which are discussed in the Bhagavatam. So the third canto, which is this, which we are on now, it's all about the discussing about the creation and also the sub-creation, because the creation has to deal with the creation itself, which is which when everything first manifests in the unmanifest state, is called pradana. Pradana means the totality of all material elements in the unmanifest stage, the pradana. And then from pradana, then the mahatattva comes. And then from mahatattva, and then from there you have the universal egg, by which Lord Vishnu enters it, and then Lord Brahma comes out. So that's so you have the sub-creations coming, and then along with the division made by Lord Brahma. So this third canto is dealing with that. And actually the explanation of this creation is actually quite technical. Normally, if you're a student of cosmology, you'll be able to it's actually a topic of cosmology. This section of the creation and the sub-creation, and how everything, all the elements, how all the elements come together. Especially the topic of Sankhya. Sankhya means the divisions, the elements. The topic of Sankhya Yoga. So which is sometimes if you get too much into technicality of it, sometimes the class itself may get boring. If you get into technicality, how each element, how it just comes about. But again, as I said, I want to get into the topic of Jan Vijay, because this is the first topic that was discussed before Vidura started asking question now about the creation, about the creative element. And also now, some time ago, during Prabhupada's time, when devotees, because having read from Chaitanya Charitamrita about the Krishna Lila with the gopis of Vrindavans and all that. So there was a time when devotees, when they formed a club. This club is called a Gopi Bhava Club, whereby devotees, they want to start they read among themselves about the Gopi Bhav in terms of, So they have this club, they call it Gopi Bhava Club. And then, so the information got to Prabhupada that, some devotees, they've formed a Gopi Bhava Club because they want to be discussing the topics of the gopis among themselves. So Prabhupada became very furious that they want to talk about Krishna Kata, Gopika, about what Krishna said in the Bhagavad Gita. Do you think that is not Krishna Kata? What Krishna said in the Gita? Krishna Kata actually means talks about Krishna and topics about Krishna. That is all Krishna Kata. So Prabhupada said that for what qualification do you even have to even hear about Krishna Kata? Especially the esoteric pastimes, So normally we don't try to dive into those kind of leelas in there. So that's the time when people say, oh, we want to hear Krishna Katha. No. Everything about Bhagavatam, every single statement, every single topic in Bhagavatam is all Krishna Katha. And as I said, it said that Krishna Bhakti Rasa Swaru Sri Bhagavata Tate Veda Sastra Oite Paramamahatra. That in every sloka of Bhagavatam, there is there's a ras is there. Krishna Bhakti Rasa Swaru Sri Bhagavata Tate Veda Sastra Oite Paramama. That in every single Bhagavatam, when we find the ras, Krishna Tattva, the ras of Krishna is there. Hmm? And then by meditation on every verse of Bhagavatam, every sloka of Bhagavatam, one can actually attain the topmost perfection of life. Every topic that is there. So it means when they say talk about the creation, we should not be thinking that, oh, this is going to be so boring about this element, how this element comes. This element comes generated this way, especially the creation of the manus and all that. You know, so normally devotees who are very, very enthusiastic, they don't find those topics as boring. They love to hear it because it's all about the manifestation of the Lord. So in the when the topic of Jan Vijay comes in the by which already the top in terms of the birth of Jan Vijay, this was already discussed already. The birth of not Jan Vijay, because Jan Vijay, the eternal personalities in the spiritual world, they are not conditioned. So, but when they had to come in the material world, they had to come to become in the material world to fight with the Lord. Then they had to take birth. So now there are some statements. I mean, some history, some historical context, which we have to understand. Because Jan Vijay, they are actually said to be the Lord's associate. They are not ordinary person. They are the Lord's associate in the spiritual world. So they are the Lord's associate in the spiritual world, and they are eternally liberated. So there is the composition by, let me see if I can find the composition. There's composition by Sri Nabadas, one of the saintly persons, who was around about in the about 16th century, 15th, 16th century, and he had compiled the list of all the great devotees of the Lord, which we are currently compiling into a book. So he made this composition, Mochita Vritinita Rahujana Narayana Pasada Vishwakshena Jai Vijay Prabhala Bala Mangala Kari Nanda Sunanda Subhada Bhadra Jagamaya Hari Chanda Prachanda Vineta Kumodaksha Kamaladya Sila Susila Susena Baba Bhakana Pratipalaya Lakshmipati Prinana Pravina Bhajananda Bhaktarana Surida Mo Chitabriti Nita Rahujan Narayana Prashada. So this is Narayana Prashada means the associate of the Lord. So now this is a prayer that may my mind always dwell in the presence of the divine attendance of Lord Narayan. May my mind always dwell in the presence of the divine attendance of Lord Narayan. So here again, Visvakshena, Jai, Vijaya, Prabhala, and Bala are devoted to the well-being of the devotees. Nanda, Sunanda, Subhadra, and Bhadra alleviate the afflictions of material life. Chanda, Prachanda, Kumoda, and Kumodaksha are exceedingly humble and compassionate. Shila, Sushila, and Susena are the protectors of sincere devotees. These 16 principal attendants are adept at serving and pleasing Lakshmi Narayan and are the benefactors of devotees who find joy in devotion. They are the most exalted among the devotees, dedicated to the Lord's service. So, which means we find the 16 principal associates of the Lord. And these 16 principal associates, among them are Jai and Vijay, among them. So, which means so we can try to understand the concept. Now, we're going to, as I go in this narration, we're going to hear about this, the kind of what happened in terms of how this so-called cousin by the Kumaras of Jan Vijay, how is actually the supreme will of the supreme will of the Lord Himself. So now it mentioned that just passing through here. So I mentioned here that Lord Vishnu's attendants, Nanda, Sunanda, Jai Vijay, Prabhala, Bala, Kumoda, Komodaksha, Vishwakshena, Garuda, Jayanta, Sutadev, Puspadanta, Satyavata, intervened with calm result. These powerful beings, each possessing this, because sometimes if the Lord had to fight, had to deal with demons sometimes. So usually these persons, they are the one that always take care of the situation so that demoniacs, those who are demons, they will not have no influence, whatsoever. So now, as I said before, these eternal associates of the Lord, they're eternally liberated and the eternally perfected beings. So which means they possess infinite spiritual wealth within their hearts. Through devotion to the Lord, they are lovers of the Lord, they are praying bhaktas of the Lord, very dear devotees of the Lord. So now, it's now mentioned that it was Lord Narayan himself who inspired the Kumaras to cause Jan Vijay, his gatekeepers, to take birth 3 births as demons. So it said that when the Lord appeared before them, He explained that His own desire is orchestrated this cause. So which means it's not that the Kumaras, by their own independent nature, they just give a cause to Jan Vijay, who are the Lord's Parshada. Parshada means associate. The Lord's they are called the Lord's own associate. So which means the Lord's own associate, which means they are basically in one with the Lord, not different from the Lord Himself. So how could this so-called cursing have taken place? This is the Lord Himself. And when the Lord told Jan Vijay that this cursing of Jan Vijay, this cursing of the Kumaras, this is my own doing, this is my own will. So actually, Jan Vijay, they become very, very happy. They actually take the whole like a nectar. They accept the cause with great delight, saying, "Oh Lord, if this pleases you, we accept even the inimical mode, forsaking the happiness of favorable service. You know, so which means they embrace this unique expression of love, because if that's going to make the Lord happy, then they are willing to do it. After all, the devotee is the one who simply do what the Lord desires. So now, you mentioned that, okay, light came back. Because it's nighttime here in Vrindavan, so oftentimes the light goes off. So you may experience some darkness once in a while. Okay. It mentioned here that devotional service alone is the true wealth of the Lord's devotees. So, as I said, for a lusty person, wealth is a young woman for a lusty person. And for a greedy person, his wealth is money. That the wealth of devotional service is about pleasing. It's the most pleasing for the devotees. As I said, Bhakti yoga, Bhakti yoga, Bhakti yoga, Bhakti yoga, Dana. Bhakti yoga, Krishna Smanakandana. That the real wealth of the devotees is this pure devotional service. That's the only wealth. There's no other wealth that is desired by the devotees. So devotees desire nothing but service to the Lord. You know, they don't desire nothing. Just like I think Yamaraj, who was saying, he says, Saloka Sarishti Samipya, Sarupya Katayaban Apyuta, Diyamana Nagrinanti, Bina Mat Sebana Jana. Oh, this is who is saying that my devotees, actually this is coming from Lord Kapila. He said, my devotees do not accept anything. They don't accept Salokya. Salokya means to live on the same planet. Sarishti means to have the same wealth as the Lord. Samipya means to live closely with the Lord. Sarupya means to have the same form as the Lord. They don't care for that. Or oneness with the Lord. So the Lord said that even if I offer these liberations in preference to serving me, so devotees don't want that. Devotees, their only aspiration is simply loving service of the Lord. So this has been explained. They also mentioned here, Nadehonam pranana pranacha sukam asesa bilashitam na chatmana na yakimapi taba sisata vibhavat bahi bhutam na takshana api sahe yata satada vimasam tas satvam madhu matana vigyan patamidam. Oh Lord, if I desire anything other than your service, whether it be for my body, and whether it be my body, my life, all desirable pleasures, my soul, or anything else, may it be utterly destroyed. Oh Madhusudana, this is my true declaration. So devotees don't want they don't want anything else. So the four Kumaras, Sanatan, Sanaka, Sanak, and Sanatan. So they were traveling throughout the world. They were traveling through the upper planetary systems. And of course, the four Kumaras, they are what we call the Brahmavadis. They are the topmost self-realized persons. They are not ordinary, spiritualists. And they are so self-realized that even though they are the oldest among any persons within this material creation, they were the first who were created by Lord Brahma, these four Kumaras. But because they are so self-realized, they have the topmost, biggest mystic everything. So they maintain themselves as four young boys, Kumaras. Kumara means like 5 years old. So they just maintain themselves as a 5-year-old. So it means they are eternally 5-year-old. They don't grow past that. So they don't grow past, they remain that alone. So Kumara, they were traveling throughout the world, they were going everywhere. And then one time, they arrived in Vaikunta. So they arrived in Vaikunta just to have darshan, of the Lord. So as they were going, they were passing, and then they were crossing several gates. There are many, many gates in Vaikunta. Many, many gates are there. So they crossed his gate. Then when they were the seventh gate, which goes into the chamber of the Lord Narayan. So the gatekeepers, Jan Vijay, so they stopped them with their stars. Say, where do you think you're going? Where do you think you're going? So when they stopped them, when this two person, Jan Vijay, they started the four Kumaras. So the four Kumaras, they became kind of angry. They became kind of angry. So they say, oh, you are associate of Lord Vaikunthanath. Yet your intelligence is incredibly dull. Though you have divine forms, why do you perceive fear based on differentiation from the Lord? So therefore, you have seen duality. So due to your flawed vision of duality, leave this Vaikuntha realm and go to those sinful species, which means you go down to the material world where lust, anger, and greed, the three enemies of living beings, reside. So the Jan Vijay, they were caused this way by the Kumaras. But hearing this cause, so Jan Vijay, so they realized, or maybe they've offended the Kumaras. So they became, distressed. Now, they became distressed not because of the cause. They became distressed because they figured that maybe they have offended these Brahmanas. They've offended them. And then they're pleading with Kumaras that, oh, great sage, we have received, they actually acknowledge the cause, that we have received the just consequence of our offense. So please be merciful so that even in the lower birth, we may maintain remembrance of the Lord. So this was their plea to the sages. And then immediately the Lord appeared to the scene. So the Lord appeared on the scene, and then the Lord came along with Lakshmi Devi to the scene. But beholding the inconceivable beauty of the Lord, who enchants the three worlds. So, and of course, is the object of everyone's samadhi. So the Kumaras, they immediately enter into extraordinary state of ecstasy. I didn't mention that because there was some fragrance that was coming from the lotus feet of the Lord, was the Tasha Rabinda, Nayana Shyapada Rabinda, Kunjaka Misa Tulasi Makarabinda Vayu, Antagata Swa, Vishwarina Chakaratation, Sankosman Aksharajusan Api Chita Tanyo. When the fragrant breeze carrying the aroma of tulsi leaves from the last lotus feet, enter the nostrils of the sages, they experience transformation of both body and mind, despite their attachment to the impersonal Brahma understanding. Because the Kumaras, they were previously Brahmavadis, they realized the impersonal Brahma, but by smelling the aroma that is coming from the lotus feet of the Lord, so they had a deep transformation of heart. They have a deep transformation of heart. And then the Lord told the Kumara, he said, "Oh, great sage, these Jan Vijay, they are my associates. They have offended you, and you have justly punished them." So the Lord is saying, Brahmins are my supreme worshipable objects. I consider the disrespect shown to you by my attendants as disrespect done by myself. Because the Lord, he identified himself, he considered himself to be non-different from this associate. So which means whatever this associate I might have done to the sages, so the Lord is saying that it's myself is to do it because the Lord, because this is his associate, it's called Parshada. Parshada means the own associate. They are the Lord's own inner, like that. And the Lord, because of his affection to the Brahmanas, the Lord, he has so much affection. That's why he called Brahmanya Deva Yagudi. The Lord is very, very always favorably disposed towards the Brahmanas. Like the Lord said, he said that even if I find my hand being offensive to Brahmanas, I will not hesitate to cut off that hand. Like one time when Brigumani, when he was going, he was trying to find out who is the most supreme among all the three deities, which means among Vishnu, Brahma, and Mahesh, trying to find out who's the most supreme. So he could not find, but seeing the characteristics of Shivaji and Lord Brahma, he could not find them to be the supreme. But Lord Vishnu, but Brigu, he went to the abode of Lord Vishnu and actually kicked Lord Vishnu on the chest. He kicked Lord Vishnu on the chest. But Lord Vishnu did not get angry. He simply said, "Oh, my dear Brahmana, oh, I'm sorry that you have kicked my chest. And my chest is very, very hard, like stone, that my chest must have hurt your foot." And then the Lord started massaging the foot of Brigumani. And of course, this action infuriated it made Lakshmi Devi very angry. That how dare that this Brahmana came to kick my husband on the chest. How dare that he came to kick my husband on the chest. So therefore, so Lakshmi Devi, she caused the Brahmana, said, "You Brahmanas, you will always be poor. You will always be poverty stricken." And of course, there's so many pastimes which took place whereby Lakshmi Devi, she became angry that Lord Vishnu will not chastise Brigu, that she left Vaikuntha. She left Vaikuntha, and so that's another pastime itself. So the Kumaras, after hearing the word from Lord Narayan, so they started responding that, "Oh Lord, you are the embodiment of Dharma and the source of all goodness. Oh Lord of Lord, you punish your gatekeepers as you see fit, or reward them as per your desire. We sincerely agree with you in all respect. If you wish, punish us for causing your innocent attendants." we will gladly accept that as well. So because the Kumaras, they realized the mistake of causing the lost attendant, so they are praying that the Lord, if his desire, he can punish them. Punish us because we have unjustly causing your attendance. So the Lord said, oh sages, understand that this cause occurred by my inspiration. And as you say that nothing happened except without the will. Everything happened only by the will of the Lord. This happened only by my inspiration. They will take birth in demoniac species. But due to the heightened concentration born from anger, they will quickly return to me. So this is the Lord only said that because these persons, they will, they're going to take birth in demoniac species. And because they will have so much anger towards me, then they will quickly return to me. So you can just see. Now, so the Lord was addressing John Vijay, that my dear John Vijay, you should go, don't be fear. Go fearlessly, you'll be blessed. You'll be blessed, you know. Even though it's all powerful, I desire to uphold the power of Brahmins. This is my will. And then the Lord's explaining. So there was one time when I was in the yogi sleep. And when I was in yogi sleep, both of you prevented Lakshmi from entering, and she angrily cursed you. Now, in your demoniac birth, your intense anger towards me will free you from the sin of disrespecting Brahmins, and you will soon return to me. Consider these curses as not curses, but as nectar, for they will remove your offenses, purify you, and fulfill my desire to incarnate and perform pastimes. So think this as nectar, as Janet. Now, the Lakshmi Devi, her prime duty is to always massage the Lord's body. The Lord's lotus feet, that's her prime duty. And one time, when Lakshmi Devi, when she was entering into the chamber of the Lord, she was entering into the room of the Lord, as he saw the Lord has been very, very tender. His body is very, very tender, very, very soft body. As he was thinking that this attendant of the Lord, they are so tender. Not tender, they are so powerful. They are so magnificent that they can easily come and overpower my Lord. They can easily come and overpower my Lord. And if they overpower him, then they may turn their attention on me. So she was having this mentality that they turn their attention on me because he's seen the Lord is very, very, very tender, and this ascendant Vijay, they are so magnificent in forms and everything. So they can easily come and overpower the Lord. She's thinking that they can overpower him, the Lord. And then one time she was massaging the Lord's body. She was massaging the Lord's body, and as she was massaging, the Lord said, hey, very, very tender, very, very tender, very, very tender. Because, it's because the body is very, very delicate. The Lord is telling her to be very, very tender. So she's thinking herself that the Lord said, the Lord is telling me to be very, very careful in touching his body. How's he going to fight? Because he's desiring to fight. How's he going to do this fighting? When he's telling me to be very, very tender. So the Lord, knowing this mentality of Lakshmi Devi, so the Lord had to prove himself to her that yes, even though he may be tender, his body may be tender and all that, still he can be the most formidable fighter. Even though his body may be very, 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 very tender, he can be the most formidable fighter. And for him to fight, he has to choose the most formidable opponent. And who can be better than his own associates? So therefore, this whole thing was all engineered by the Lord himself, the so causing of Jai and Vijay by the Kumaras. So and then the there are many few of these pastime that is there. So what are some of the significance or the lesson of these pastimes that is there? So it mentioned that this whole episode, it exemplifies the profound nature of the Lord's pastimes and the unique relationship he shares with his devotees. So it underscores the following key points. The Lord's inscrutable will, even seemingly negative events like curses, are orchestrated by the Lord to fulfill his divine purpose. The potency of pure devotion. The Lord's associates, driven by pure love, willingly accept any circumstance, even suffering, to please the Lord and participate in his pastimes. The elevated status of the Lord's associates, they are so powerful that only the most exalted sages could affect them with the cause. Because the Kumaras, they are very, very powerful sages themselves. They're not just ordinary Brahman, they're not ordinary sages. So because the Kumaras, they are so qualified themselves. So that's why they could be in a position to give a cause to Jai and Vijay. Actually, it was mentioned in the other narration that when when Jai Vijay became Hiranyakashipu, it was the Kumaras themselves who became transformed as Prahlad, so therefore, because the Lord orchestrated, these past steps, and the Lord's reciprocation with his devotees. The Lord honors the desires and even the causes of his devotees, using them as opportunities for divine play and the devotees' ultimate benefit. So, everything is to be accepted if it's according to the Lord's will. So, of course, initially when Jai Vijay, when they heard of the course given by the four Kumaras, they were initially unhappy, but when they heard that it was the Lord's will, so they became very, very jubilant. They were so happy. There is one Hindi poem. I will just read the poem. If hell is given, one should not despise or turn away. If heaven is offered, one should not rejoice or praise. If rejected, do not feel distressed in your heart. If accepted, do not swell with pride and elation. Whatever mood the Lord displays, align yourself with that. O loving heart, maintain your affection with grace. Let your desires wither. Cast your own wishes into the fire. The only desire worth cherishing is that which pleases the beloved. So this is the the characteristic, the point that is describing the situation of of Jai and Vijay, and then we have so many other stories that illustrated this part. Actually, we have one book called Back to Mal. It's a book that describes the life of devotees. There are so many different narrations of devotees, and there are many of their incredible, let's say life or pastimes, as you want to say. For example, there was one particular devotee. His name was called Namdev. So this devotee is totally 100% surrendered to the Lord. It's 100%. Everything is accepted according to the Lord's will. So there was one time, this devotee, he was performing some bhajan. He was engaging some deep bhajan, deep meditation service. And then his house caught on fire because this devotee was living in a house with a thatched roof. So his house caught on fire. But as his house caught on fire, so all the neighbors, they all came running. But this devotee was absorbed in an intense meditation. So all the neighbors come running to tell him that, oh, your house is on fire, your house is on fire. Try to save whatever. But this devotee, he will not pay any attention that his house was on fire because he was simply absorbed in his meditation. Now, now the neighbors, they were able to enter the house. They took out so many things, whatever they can grab, so that they don't get burnt. But this devotee, when he saw the fire burning, because the vision of the devotee is that he sees everything as a manifestation of God, as a manifestation of the Lord. We say, oh, this fire, this is just another manifestation of my Lord. So what he did was that whatever the neighbors, whatever they have gathered together from the house, he just took it back from them and threw them back into the fire. Because he said, this is the Lord who has come. And the Lord, everything that, because after all, everything belonged to him anyway, nothing belonged to me. Everything belonged to God. So he said that if the Lord, he wants everything back, so therefore whatever is, nothing should be saved, let everything go back into the fire. So he took back everything which has been saved, he threw everything back into the fire. So all the neighbors were wondering that, what is this? This person has gone crazy or what? We save everything from the house so that they don't get burned. And now he took everything and threw them back into the fire. What kind of a personality is this? So all the neighbors, they decided to abandon him. So, and then when so then the Lord, after some time, so when the Lord saw that this devotee will not even make any effort to either to defend himself or to save whatever belonging that's in the house. So eventually the Lord actually came to these devotees. The Lord came to him, and then the fire was subdued, and everything become cool. Anyway, that's a long story itself. the main thing is that the heart devotee simply accept everything as long as it's according to the Lord's will. And now it's according to the Lord's will, and if it pleases the Lord, so devotee accept. So that was the exact mentality of Jan Vijay. And we, as you can see, throughout the life of Jan Vijay, throughout their lives, when they were Hiranyakashipu, Hiranyaksha, Ravana, Kumbhakana, Sishupa, and Datavakra, those three lives, they always thinking of the Lord. But of course, they are thinking of the Lord in a particular ras, which is a Vira ras, whereby they are always angry with the Lord. But their thought of the Lord is 24 hours a day. They never stop thinking. They always remembering the Lord, even though it's not something that we should follow. But they're always in remembrance of the Lord. So therefore, and is that as because that's what the Lord wants. That's what the Lord wants. And then when they finish what they have been expected to do in terms of being the Lord's enemy, when those three lives were finished, those three lives were finished, then they return back to their original position as Jan Vijay. So therefore, there is no, all their actions and their liberation is not motivated by any sinful activities. And then actually we can say that they attain liberation because they always liberated. It's just that they just had to perform that lila which the laws wanted. And of course, as they said, I was reading some discussion today on the African Forum. Some might say that it's Jagamada, Jan Vijay, who are incarnated. Yes, they are Jan Vijay, but they also come, even though their three life is completed, which is supposed to come, but because the special incarnation of Lord Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu, whereby is the deliverer of the most fallen in Kali Yuga. So, and they had to take part in these Sankirtan pastimes. So in order to take part in these Sankirtan pastimes of Lord Chaitanya Prabhu, so therefore Jan Vijay came as Jagai Madai. And this is corroborated by the Vaishnava Acharya's Sastra, by the Vaishnava Acharya's scriptures. So that's not and all the Acharyas, they all accept that. So I guess this topic of in this talk canto is going to be put to rest now. Matrimony now is now going to start discussing the aspect of creation, the aspect of sub-creation, by which it's going to take us to the Lila of Kapila Dev. Lord Kapila Dev is going to start very soon. The Kapila Dev, and then we're going to be hearing very, very beautiful pastimes of Lord Kapila, and also his teachings and all that. We're going to be hearing that in the next few chapters. So in chapter count to 3, it has 33 chapters. So which means the next 13 chapters, 2 of them will be describing further the creation. And then from that, 11 chapters is going to be dealing with the appearance of Kapila Dev and the teachings of the Kapila Dev, which every devotee should pay attention to those teachings. Okay, thank you very much. So I'm going to stop here. So you can, if anybody want to ask question or make comments, you
Well,
can
Hare
please.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for shedding more light on this Jai Vijay Leela. And I'm happy the way you ended the Katha, especially with the last story about this amazing devotee whose house was on fire and people were trying to help him get some things out of the house, and he threw everything back into the fire. It's nice you said we should not imitate, because it does not make sense to us, the ordinary souls, the conditioned souls at all. And like I said, it's nice you said that we should not imitate, because if we did, it will be very difficult to practice devotional service. Then how can we even preach? Because whatever is happening to any individual, that is, oh, my Lord's plan. But that is not how we live our lives. So thank you so much for sharing that. But I have this question about, see, there are so many things that do not, excuse me to say, work well with us as conditioned souls, because we try to reason based on how we understand and see things in our existence here. And I am wondering, how does it ever happen that an emperor with his queen, and we have gatekeepers, prevented the queen or the mistress to visit her lord in the chambers of his house? I mean, how did Jai Vijay even think of stopping Mother Lakshmi from entering into the chambers of Lord Vishnu? And Lord Vishnu, I don't know whether he permitted that, or so Mother Lakshmi kept that in her heart and says, these people, I need to teach them some lesson. But how does it make sense to an ordinary person that something like this actually did happen? And if it did happen, why that is the case? If you may share some light.
Yeah, if you know that Mother Lakshmi Devi, she has many devotees. Many devotees in the material world. This, you see that Mother Lakshmi Puja is there all the time. People love to worship Lord Lakshmi because you worship Lakshmi, she gives you wealth, she gives you a lot of money. So she's always going back and forth from spiritual world to the material world. She's always back and forth because she has to, attend to the call of her devotees. So it's one of those three, because it's always constantly coming back and from the palace, going back and forth. So one of those three that the Jan Vijay, they try to say, they try to prevent her from going. And of course, she not paid them attention, but she calls them, like, oh, you rascal. So she calls them. She didn't pay them attention. So Lord Narayan know that, yes, Lakshmi Devi is not, she's not happy with my attendance. She's not happy. The lost on attendance, there is attendance, which means they are the lost, they call the partial. The partial means intimate associates. But they're not just ordinary attendants. But of course, they shouldn't have done that. But their action of doing that was trying to prevent Lakshmi from entering the palace, from entering the chamber of our master, of our Lord. It's also according to the Lord's will himself. Because without that will, that supreme sanction, how could Jan Vijay have gone to the material world? How could he have done? So so it's the Lord's own will that caused them being neglectful of Lakshmi Devi, and then to Jan Vijay. So this is all according to the Lord's will. So that's why we have to see it. So which means we cannot really see any rationalization to it, except seeing it as the Lord's will. The Lord desire it. And that's why Lakshmi was wondering that, my dear Lord is so tender. Are you going to fight with these people? How are you going to do fighting? Your body is so tender, like flour. How are you going to fight? So in order to prove to her that, yes, my body can be tender, I can fight. Just to prove to her that he can fight. So therefore, this causing and all that of Jan Vijay was orchestrated by the Lord himself. Just to prove to Lakshmi that, yes, you will see me the way I will fight. You're going to see me. Like, yes, I'm going to fight. And of course, can only fight with his devotees. So,
Well, thank you, Prabhuji. Now, concerning the curse, we understand from this pastime that it was the 4 Kumaras who cursed Jai Vijay. Now, were they the very people who gave such 2 options, either to come to the material world 7 times as devotees, or 3 times as demons, or it was the Lord who gave them such options, or it was they themselves who gave those options?
No, the Lord gave the option. The Lord gave the option, the Lord.
Okay.
Of course, the Lord knows that they will accept that 3 times because they themselves, they want to fulfill the Lord's desire to fight. They want to fulfill the Lord's, because the Lord want to fight. He want to amuse himself with fighting. So the Lord want to amuse himself with the spirit of fighting. So therefore, these 2 devotees, they want to fulfill the Lord's desire. And this is the perfect opportunity to do that. So they have to go to the material world in the mood of deep anger with the Lord, so that they can do the fighting. Because you cannot fight someone unless you are very angry with the person. So that mode of the mode of the wrath of anger, that mode, then that's why they came to the material world.
Well, I have a question for Krishna through you. Prabhuji. The question is, why would Krishna permit that if they are coming as devotees, it's going to take them longer to go back home? But if they come and play the role of demons, it's actually going to be shorter for them to go back home. So does that mean that those who behave demonically have quicker chance of going back home than those who practice devotional service, or what? What is Krishna saying?
No, because they were sent to the material world as demons. They were sent to the material world to be a demon. They were sent to be a demon. They said, you go there to the material world in the mode of anger and fight with me. So they were sent to the material world to be demons in order to affect the Lord's pastimes. So the Lord can execute his pastime. But we, the conditions, so we are demoniac, don't think that you can be in a position to fight with the Lord. You can't. You don't even have such qualification to fight with the Lord. I mean, what qualification do we have to fight with him? The material energy will easily take care of us. It's not yes, sometimes we think that, okay, let me become a demon so that Krishna will come and fight me and kill me. Then I get liberation. But who can attain such, what power do you have? It's an easy thing. But when you read about all those demons that Krishna killed in his Leela, like Kamsa, Jarasandha, all those demons, these are very, very powerful beings. They're so powerful. They're so powerful. They can assume any forms they want. Putana, Aristasura, Bakasura, Hagasura, all those demons that Krishna killed. They were not ordinary persons. They are the greatest mystics. They have the power of illusions. So therefore, only the Supreme Lord can fight them Only Supreme Lord can kill them. So that's the difference. So we cannot, actually, we're in this material world since time immemorial because we want to be, our demonic mentality is that we want to be the Lord of the world, we want to be the sub-controller, which is demonic mentality itself. But we've been here since when? Since time immemorial, we've been here for a long time. We've been here for millions and millions of lifetimes. So we are just many demons. The real demons are those who the Krishna come and kill. And those demons, they come to help the Lord's Leela. You see. I think, like for example, the brother of, I think it was, no, it was the sister, not Supernaka. Okay, just forget that one. For example, Supernaka was a demon. Supernaka was the sister of Ravan. So Supernaka was the sister of Ravan, and then Ravan was the one who kidnapped Bodhisita. So Supernaka, when Lord Ram was in the forest with his brother and Sita Devi, so she was attracted to the Lord. Even though she was a demon, she was attracted to the Lord, and then she approached Lord Ram that she wanted to be, his wife. Lord Ram said that, look, I'm already married, so I cannot be your husband. He said, why don't you go to my brother, Lakshman. So Supanaka went to Lakshman, that, oh, Lakshman, let's walk around in the forest. And Lakshman said, look, I'm just a servant of my brother, so I have no freedom. So Supanaka became angry. Initially, she was in a very, very attractive, beautiful woman, but when she realized that she was being made jest of by Ram and Lakshman, so she revealed a demoniac form, very, very fierce, ugly form, a demoniac form, and then she wanted to attack Sita Devi. So Lakshman then took her and cut off her nose and her ears. So gave her a nice, Lakshman gave her a nice cosmetic surgery. So, and then she was disfigured, and then ran to Ram, my brother. As she was, so because she had been disfigured, so no man will desire her anymore. No man will desire her anymore. So it so happened, the same Supanaka, during Krishna Lila, she now took birth as Kubja. She took birth as Kubja, but taking birth as Kubja, she was hunchback. Hunchback woman, which means she was called a Trivakra. In threefold, but she was bended in three very ugly forms. Hunchback and with the threefold, so which means no one will desire her. Of course, she was a servant of cancer. But when Krishna went to to Mathura, so she came to render service to Krishna. So when she came to render service to Krishna, and then seeing her ugly forms, so she came to render service to Krishna because she gave Krishna a garland that was meant for cancer. So Krishna became very, like happy to her. And then Krishna, gave her a nice stretching her body. So Krishna stretching her body, and then she became the most beautiful woman. So she became the most beautiful woman. And then Krishna actually fulfilled her desire to have, like kind of conjugal, but not like intimate conjugal, but in terms of she was able to decorate Krishna's body by placing garland on Krishna's neck and all that. So some kind of relationship that she was able to have with Krishna. in that life as Kubja. So sometimes some of those demoner persons, they are like that. Not ordinary demons, but in order to fulfill a certain purpose. So we should not have we should not have the desire that, oh, let me become a demon. Yeah, I mean, if we can become if we can become big demon like those demons, and then tough luck. If you become a big demon like cancer, then important because she became Christians. So good luck on that one. But I think it's better to become devotee.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Prabhuji. Anyone else with something to ask or to share, please? Using the head emoji or your physical hand. Hare Krishna. Prabhuji, Supanaka and Ram, this short lila you shared, I don't think Sri Ram's excuse is a strong one, that he is already married, so he cannot have another wife. Because those days, even though, because they were still, I think at that time he had not been understood as the king of Ayodhya. But even then, ordinary citizens could have more than one wife. So I think Supanaka could have also argued with Sri Ram that you could have more than one.
Well, first of all, Ram, he had a vow that he will marry only one wife.
Oh,
So the law has a that vow.
okay.
And secondly, the law knows that she's a demon. You know
Yeah,
that she's a demon. The law knows that.
yeah.
So the law had to play that role. So he knows that she's a demon. And secondly, he had the vow that he only married only one wife.
Oh, I didn't know about that vow. Oh,
Yeah.
good to know.
Yeah, he has a vow.
Yeah.
On the seat.
Mitravinda, please see me on mute.
Hare Krishna Mitravinda.
Mitravinda, are you there? Oh, I think we lost her. No, she's here.
Yeah, she's there.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna Mitravinda.
Thank you. I'm really truly appreciating these Jai and Vijay Leela from a different perspective now, I think. Early on in trying to understand this process and imbibe it, there's so much talk about demon, and so there's a tendency to take sides, right? And in taking sides, we lose the ability, or especially early on, not having the ability to properly be able to absorb the information, to discern what is actually happening. And, hearing Srimad Bhagavatam over and over again gives us that ability to have something different be felt and absorbed and understood each time. And I wanted to thank you for sharing today, because this Jai Vijay Leela is, it's ever unfolding. That our position is servant, not judger, especially of the pure devotees who are in Shastra. And we're attempting to serve them in our understanding and our desire to learn. And Jai Vijay as demons, air quotes, we as we learn here and read, we understand they weren't demons ever. They're servants, pure servants of the Lord. And in their desire to serve, they did what was required of them. And if an error was made, then their whole thing was to get back as quickly as possible to Krishna to continue serving. And they didn't care what that meant, you know, and that's just another sign of their exalted position.
Yeah.
And I have another connection with them that's really to my heart. My daughter and I went out one day, and my daughter, she's very keen on spotting things, and so she spotted this form in the grass, and it was of a carved artwork. And she told me, and I asked the lady, how much can I give you a donation for? And she told me, and I gave. But their Jai Vijay form, I found out, carved out of solid sandalwood from like the 1600s. And yeah, I put a picture, sent a picture to Sahadev Prabhu. But every time I hear more Leela about Jai Vijay, it just puts me in the position of realizing from, you know, as one aspiring to take on this path, how imperfect my vision was, how flawed it was in thinking, oh, the demons and then, you know, the demigods and the demons are, oh my God, demons, of course. But in the case of Shastra, the demons, we have to understand who they are and what it actually means. And you're sharing today and continued on sharing. I look forward to your classes is, you know, expert in bringing about that energy of understanding and having the ability to understand deeper their position. And you share it so sweetly and calmly, which makes it easier to absorb. So thank you so much.
Yeah, we should always appreciate Jai Vijay, and we should see how they had to endure by sacrifice of becoming demons so that they can serve the Lord. And it's not an easy thing, but it's a sacrifice they have to make because the Lord want to have a lila. The Lord want to be served that way. So therefore, it's a sacrifice that they take as devotees to become demon, so that they can please the Lord in that aspect. So sometimes, even though we may be given a service that may be difficult for us, we may be given a service that, oh, why this service is so difficult, you know? But you know, and if what's required, that's what's required. You know, I remember one time, I think this was in the Lamrita, in the beginning of the ISKCON Society, when the Prabhupada told devotees, I think so Sasuri Maharaj, and that to go and start a magazine. And so Maharaj said that because I had to do it. We don't know how to do it. And Prabhupada said, Krishna will show you how to do it. Krishna will show you how to do it. So it's like we take instructions. That's what the Lord wants, and that's what we have to do. Whatever it takes, we have to do it. So that's the mode of Jai Vijay. We should not think like Yaksha. We should think like Jai and Vijay. Don't think about the form they have taken. They think about their original forms. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much. Yeah. Anyone else with something to ask or to share? Well.
Hare Krishna.
Oh, sure. Govinda Prabhu. Yes, please go ahead.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Prabhu. My respectful obeisances to you. And my obeisances to the devotees. So glory to Srila Prabhupada. Or glory to the Guru Parampara. And thank you very much, Prabhu, once again. Beautiful presentation. Prabhu, this is a question to you. I would like to get your practical experience.
Okay.
in presenting Bhagavatam. I remember one time in Ghana, Guru Maharaj was kind of encouraging us and showing appreciation to the devotees that the kind of faith that we have in Krishna, even though we are not self-realized and we may not understand what we are doing properly, but every day, every year, he go and come and meet us. So he was kind of showing appreciation and encouraging us. And also he was even saying that we are even more, he used the word, that we are even more faithful, or a word like that, I can't remember, than himself. He was trying to say that he understands what he's doing more than we are. Even though with our little understanding and the faith we have, we are rendering service to the Lord day in, day out, year after year after year. So we are reading Bhagavatims and we are reading other Vedic literatures. And these pastimes of the Lord took place in India, and such holy places, you've been to all these holy places, most of them, if not all. And so when you are speaking of this, the Lord pastimes, you've been there and you know it is something that really happened. And it's different from someone who is presenting something by hearsay or just by reading a book. Of course, when reading a book or reading devotional service, you know, the Lord in the heart purifies the heart of the individual for him to have some realization. So when presenting the philosophy, you present it as if you were personally there, you know, based on individual self-realization. But you are in Vrindavan, and you've been to many, you know, such places that the Lord performed his pastimes. So how do you feel? How do you feel when you are presenting such pastimes? You've been there, you've been hearing, and you practically you've been to these places. So when you are presenting these pastimes, how do you feel?
Well, of course, as they say, you know, experience is always better than the theoretical analysis. Of course, now one thing, this pastime which has taken place like ages and years and years ago. And of course, the effect is there because normally in all those places, in all the places of pilgrimage, there are always resident sadhus. The resident sadhus are there. So which means when we go to those places, and then we can, because we have read about those places, and then we go there, then we can hear those resident sadhus who are there. So which means the energy is there. Just like when you go to places here in Vrindavan, you go to places where Lord Krishna has performed in all his pastimes, you go there. So, you know, the energy is there. You actually feel you do feel the energy, because so that whatever you are reading is no more theoretical. It's something that's very, very
Please drive
practical.
to highlighted route.
But at the same time, the devotees, they are not just, you know, as they say, that yes, we should perform devotional service. And as we perform devotional service, the idea thing, of course, is to live in a place of pilgrimage like Vrindavan or Mayapur. But if one cannot physically live there, one can also live there in spirit. You know, one can live there in the spirit also. So which means, like, as he said, Seva Sadaka Rupena, Seva Sadaka Chatrahi, that if one cannot be in Vrindavan physically, then one can be there mentally. In terms, which means one can try to understand.
2 miles.
Yeah,
Turn right on US 33.
you know, hear about, read about the characteristics of the inhabitants, and especially those personalities were like Lord Krishna's associate. Read about their characteristics. And of course, our chanting also has to be much more than practical. It means when we are chanting, we actually feel, we should feel that, yes, because Krishna is not different from his name. And through the chanting, we can get the realization, we should be able to get the realization through our chanting of the Lord's holy name. So I cannot really say that, yes, okay, you know, when I'm talking about some particular lila or some places, because I have been there, so therefore I'm feeling something. I'm talking about it because it happens there millions and millions of years ago, or tons of years ago. So therefore the power is there. But at the same time, this is something that can be done by anybody. It's a matter of having a faith in what you are talking about. Because the more stronger your faith, the more you will have the dynamic realization, the more stronger your faith. And that usually comes by association. When you associate with advanced personalities, with advanced devotees, you know, that way. You know, so that's just the way we have to say it. But, you know, as I always, every time I always say that, let's all make a plan to come to Vrindavan or Mayapur. You can always organize a trip. Organize a trip. You know, come to Vrindavan, you know, once a year, come to a place of pilgrimage once a year. Many devotees do that. They come once a year, they take the time off from their work. Wherever you are in the world, you can always come once a year to, you know, come and pilgrimage to India. Travel around and be with the devotees, you know, like that. This is something that is open to anyone. It's available to everyone and all. So you can make a group traveling and trying to do that. I think some devotees have been coming, but let's try to come more. You know, I hope that is. I hope that is.
Continue to pray for us. Yes. Governor Prabhu, you are muted. Sorry.
Oh, let us hear. Unmute yourself.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Good.
Yes, Prabhu, I was thanking you. I was thanking you for sharing that. And also, yes, like Sadi Prabhu was saying, continue to pray for us. We would like to be there. So continue to pray for it. It is said that you can never go to Vrindavan if you're not invited by Srimati Radharani. And so we've not got the mercy yet. So continue to pray so that you may have this mercy from Srimati Radharani. We can come and see you there. So you can take us around.
You have to pray. You have to pray. Krishna, let me go.
All right. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. Anyone else? Before we call it a day, it's quite late, Prabhuji's time.
Vara Prabhu, want to say something?
Yeah, sure, Vara Prabhu.
We have Vara Prabhu, we have Salika is also there.
Yeah.
Prabhu. I am driving and I'm almost about maybe 1 minute, 2 minutes away from the camp. So what I have to say may keep you a bit longer here. So that's why I've kept quiet. I don't know what I should about that. But I thank you very much for all what you have shared. But you know, like I kind of maybe I don't want to say I love controversy, but I love clarity. And because I'm one person who loves to always insist on what is true, you know, when I know what is true, I can die for it, you know. But if you make me feel, if anything makes me feel that this is a relative truth, then I become so cold. See, so my faith in the Vedas and in Krishna consciousness has been so much about the infallibility of the scriptures.
Turn right on US
So,
33 East.
so even if people are going wrong and things are falling apart, my faith always, stands strong because the scriptures are infallible. So, whether you have the time to dive into this because it may keep you here a little longer. So it's up to you. If you want me to speak, then you can give me the go ahead to speak. Otherwise,
Yes,
thank you very
no,
much.
then go ahead and speak.
Okay,
Yeah,
thank
go
you,
ahead and
Prabhu.
speak.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I'm just writing the tempo now so you can hear my voice clearly. Yeah, so my point about the Jai and Vijay saga, that they came back again as Jagai and Madai, is you see, if we can start collating these apparent contradictions, which sometimes can make the scripture look relative and not absolute. Like we say that the Vedas are apuruseya.
Yeah. Like we lost you? Did we
Looks
lose?
like he's
Like we
here
lost you?
though. He's still here.
But we're not hearing him.
Are you hearing? Are you
How can
hearing?
No, we couldn't hear you, but we can hear you now.
Okay, it's because my data changed to Wi-Fi, so there's it. Okay. So like I'm saying that we like to defend the Vedas because it is said to be apuruseya, infallible. These are coming from the Lord directly. It's not written by men. You know, like the atheists used to argue that why do you put your faith in something written by men? These are just, circumstantial things, mythologies. And we have developed our faith on the scriptures. So things may be falling apart in the institution, institutional religion. People may not follow to the letter, but we still keep on having faith in the scripture. So the apparent contradiction sometimes can disturb the faith. Even if it does not disturb the faith, it takes away from that. That vigor to defend, to say that it is not relative, because you can make a collation. I can give you right now. I can start telling you how so many apparent contradictions are appearing day by day, and there's been no clarity about these things. I'll give you just 2-3 examples. This same problem happened to the Bible, and eventually, majority of the Westerners are losing faith in the authority of the Bible. Now, let me just give you a few things.
We lost you.
We lost you.
He's still here though.
Am I audible now?
Yes, you are now.
Yes. The network was disturbed a little. So anyway, let me make it brief. So first, we heard that Krishna appeared in the prison of Kamsa, right? And his father took him and exchanged him, in Vrindavan. Took him there and brought Durga Devi. or the incarnation of Durga. That's what we learn. That's what is still in the Krishna book written by Prabhupada or commented by Prabhupada. Now there is a difference to that now, that they are twins, that Yasoda gave birth to twins, etc., etc. That's one. Then we also learn that Krishna never really married to Radha. Then other people come and say, no, Krishna eventually married to Radha. I mean, how can that be? Krishna and Radha are one and the same. But no, some people say, no, Krishna, they come up again with this. And I can go on and on and on. I don't want to be too much into this. So anyway, so now the scripture says, Jaya and Vijay are going to come. They made a choice to come 3 times. And now we're hearing, okay, they also came as Jagai and Madai, making it the 4th time. So it's becoming more and more like relative. You have to just accept it blindly, even though the scripture says this, yeah, but this also happens. So it's no longer looking like it's absolute, and it's something you can defend absolutely. That the scripture says this, this is what it says. There are certain things the Christians would never accept from any outsider, just because it's not in their Bible. For instance, Jesus Christ went to India and died in India. Christians will never take that from you because it's not in their Bible. So the more we are growing in Christian consciousness and we're coming face to face with these apparent contradictions, it makes it become difficult for us to be able to speak vehemently and defend the scriptures vehemently, because there are apparent contradictions also, just as the way we condemn the Bible. So this is the controversy, and that's why I don't want to open the Pandora's box. I just said maybe I should leave it, but you may want to say something about that. Hare Krishna.
Well, in the reality,
Prabhu, if you don't mind, can I say something in addition to what Vara said before you respond? Because I was going to speak in relation to that. Yeah, thank you very much, Sriman Varacharya Prabhu. And I want to clearly state my position because I raised a question yesterday to Kavichandra Maharaj. And I said the assertion that Jaya and Vijay came in Chaitanya Lila is not true. And I want to see the reference. And Gaura Deepika, Ganodesha Deepika was referenced. And I went ahead, I accepted it yesterday. The statement says that they voluntarily came. That is completely outside of the Leela of the Jaya and Vijay narratives in the Srimad Bhagavatam. And Sahadev Prabhu gave an explanation that just like Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Krishna appears only in 3 Yuga, but he came in Kali Yuga. We know it's Krishna, but he came as a devotee. He came in a different arrangement entirely. So from that background of argument, one could say that Jaya and Vijay came in Chaitanya Lila, but they have concluded the Lila of coming 3 times as a demon has been closed. That Lila has been completed, but that does not limit them. That argument sounds reasonable, but I went ahead to do further research, and I went to find out Prabhupada references to Gaura Deepika of Kavi Kanapu and many of the books he wrote. And I found out, this is my findings. My finding is this, that Srila Prabhupada never references all of Kavi Kanapu's book. And I found commentary saying that Srila Prabhupada only references that which is in agreement with the scriptures. And a very practical example is Chanakya Pandit. Chanakya Pandit is referenced by Srila Prabhupada in many purports. But when it comes to the Siddhanta Tattva, Srila Prabhupada never considered Chanakya Pandit as authority in a line of sastric conclusion. And in the same way, what I concluded in my research is that that reference that was given from Gaura Deepika cannot be accepted as absolute, because when a statement in the scriptures does not align with the Guru Sadhu Sastra, we cannot accept them to be conclusive absolute truth, because the reference we have, unlike what Vara Prabhu is saying, Vara Prabhu is saying that in the Western scriptures, there is this confusion, but there is no confusion in Vedic Tattva because there is the parameters for checking Guru Sadhu Shastra. So if what was referenced by Kavikanapo in that book has another correlation or any references in other statement of all the acharyas or the scriptures, then we can accept it. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, looking at the angle from which Sadi Prabhu is coming, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came, but there is a reference from the Sastra that backs up those references. But the statement written in Kavikanapo's Gora Deepika is not backed by any scriptural text anywhere. So therefore, my conclusion, and I tend to be corrected, that's why I said I need to put this in before you respond, is that a word of a sadhu will only be accepted as sastric if it is in line with Guru Sastra. But if they do not align, just like the example of Chanakya Pandit's statement, when they are in alignment with this Bhagavatam, with the Sastra, authoritative standard scriptures, then we can accept it. So therefore, my position is that that reference cannot be accepted as truth. Now, to conclude, I further discussed with some other senior Vaishnavas in the ISKCON Gaudiya Vaishnava traditions between yesterday and today, and I had several people, senior Vaishnavas, who have read very widely, and they said the incarnations in Chaitanya Lila are not Jai and Vijay. They are partial. Sometimes the Lord exceptional devotees like Jai and Vijay could allow their partial representation to manifest, just to accept, to partake in the Lila of the, and there is a reference like Kartikeya. Kartikeya has appeared also as a partial incarnation. The Srimati Radharani reference is also Lord Krishna never married Radha, but that marriage that is being referenced to is a partial incarnation. So there's a difference between the direct Sastra statement and references from the sadhus. But when those statements does not align with Guru and Shastra, we cannot accept it to be Tattva. And that is my position. That is what I found out after reference, because yesterday, when that was quoted as a reference, I couldn't argue much because I wanted to do more research to see the source of that reference.
Yeah, as you said, everything's according to Guru Sadhu and Shastra. So we all know that. And the scriptures, the various scriptures are very, very vast. And you find that the more you read, the more you study, the more you find out that actually there's still a lot more I don't even know. Even though I have been studying all these things for the last 48 years or so now. Even up to today, I still come out of the situation whereby I find that, oh, this is a new to me. This is a new revelation to me. Because the very scriptures, they are living entities. They are living entities. The personified Vedas, they are praying to Lord Krishna. They are praying to Lord Krishna. They're personalities. But these are living personalities and they're always alive. And normally, the more we open ourselves to it, the more we will get the revelation. So, and technically, we accept whatever our acharyas accepted. Just like Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he was asked a question that how do we accept that something is sastric? It's a sastra. So his reply is that whatever our acharyas accept to be sastra, that's what we accept. For example, Kavikanapo was a great, the son of Sivananda Sena. It's great associate Shri Sri Prabhu. Kavikanapur, when he was born, and his father took him to Puri to meet Mahaprabhu. So Mahaprabhu gave him name. When he was just born, Mahaprabhu gave him the name Puridas. That name is Puridas. So he was called Paramananda Puridas. And when he was, and at that time, so Mahaprabhu put his, when he was a baby, Mahaprabhu put his toe in his mouth. He put his toe in his mouth, this baby. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave him the name Puridas. So when he was 6 years old, and his father brought him to Puri to meet Mahaprabhu. So then Mahaprabhu, because the Lord gave him all his mercy, even though he's a child. So Mahaprabhu gave him, told him that Puridas, chant Krishna's name, chant the name of Krishna. So Puridas will not be chanting, will not chant. So even though Mahaprabhu asked him again and again to chant, the boy will not chant. So Mahaprabhu told the Vaishnava, especially Damodara, he told them that even I've caused all the animals to chant, still this boy will not chant, even though I've caused all the animals to chant. So Damodara replied that, well, this boy, because of his the way, the value it took to the name Krishna, so therefore is unable to come out of his mouth because of the great value that he placed on this name Krishna. And then Mahaprabhu said, okay, Puridas, recite a verse. He recited a verse. And the boy started chanting verse from Bhagavatam. You know, Kanva Dalusara, Hambachosana, Kalakusa, Jigasaya. Reciting a verse of how Putana had come to poison Krishna, had come to kill Krishna. But Krishna, he killed her, but at the same time, Krishna gave her a position to be one of his nurses in the spiritual world. So therefore, it's a Saranam Prapadya, that who else cannot take shelter of except that Krishna. So this boy chanted such a magnificent verse. And that's one of the reasons why it's called Kavikanapu, which means the king of all the poets, the king among all the poets, Kavikanapu. And he wrote so many scriptures, not just Ganesh Dipika, like Ananda Brindavan Temple, Chandra Nataka, so many wonderful scriptures which he wrote, in Kavikanapur. And those scriptures, those are great authorities. So now the other thing, in terms of the aspect of Krishna, whereby he never leaves Vrindavan, and the church have accepted. Why we say Krishna never lived in Vrindavan? Because Krishna of Vrindavan is different from Krishna of Mathura. And how Krishna, how Maria Yashoda gave birth to twins, whereby Krishna who comes from Mathura, he was married with the Krishna that was born in Vrindavan. And how when we say Krishna is Devaki Nandana, how Maria Yashoda, her second name is also Devaki, and there's a scriptural proof to that. The point is that the more we study, the more we will know. The more we study, the more we will know. Basically, we have to live with the scripture. We have to live with the Shastra, and through the Shastra, we will get the revelation. So the point is that. Again, we have to hear from the realized acharyas. We have to hear from the realized sadhus. We cannot hear from the speculators. We accept what our acharyas accept, all the scriptures which our acharyas have accepted. That's what we accept. For example, when we come to my case, I will only accept those scriptures which our acharyas like Prabhupada Guguvina Maraj, Silabakshita and Tabakintaku, which they've accepted. Those are my scriptures. There are many, many scriptures. Like in my house here, it's full of libraries of scriptures. And many of them, I've not even got to yet. But they are great scripture. There are Sis Goswami. There are so many books. So we accept, we have to have faith in what all the previous acharyas have said. If they have said so, because the previous acharya, they determine what is Sasha, what is scriptures. And of course, we have the main scriptures like Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, Chitamrita, but there are many other scriptures which are written in supportive of the main scriptures. The books of the Goswamis, they are written in support of the scriptures. The sons of Narottam Das Thakur, the sons of Bhaktivinoda Thakur, and many great Kavi, many great poets, Vaishnava poets. Because this personality are pure devotees, so therefore we accept them. So we accept them because they are pure devotees. And pure devotees are known by their characteristics. Pure devotees who have no other desire except the desires to please the Lord. So these are just just some of the things. So which means basically, if we hear something new, then we should not be alarmed by it. For example, I'm just compiling a book now. It's called Bhaktamal. And that book the book is going to be 4-volume book. And the first volume is 900 pages book, the first volume. So you can just imagine what information is going to be inside those volumes of books. But if you read something, you become alarmed by it, don't raise any hue, just go further and just study. And then you will come to cross, oh, this is right, this is correct. So basically my mood is that when I hear something, we read something, then I don't try to create any opera. I just, go to the study, go to further questioning. And then eventually the answer will come. This whole idea that Vijay, they came back as Jagai Mother. This is something that our church have said. It's not something that just came about just now. Our church has said in the song of Narottam Das Thakur, he said, Dinayina yata chilo harinama hudarilo ta saksi jagai modai. So he said that the fact that Krishna has come in the Kali Yuga, he has come to, out of his cosmos mercy, he spread the Harinam. And the proof of this is Jagai Madai. That's the proof of it. Whereby he gave the message to everyone. And I said that Jagai Madai, they are not they're not demons, they are devotees. I know they were born in the Brahminical families, very high-class Brahminical families, but they had bad association. And that bad association, they fell down from their Brahminical platform, and they decided to become women hunters, drunkards, and all that. And eventually, they got the mercy of Chaitanya Prabhu, eventually. So, our acharyas have said, if their acharyas have said, who are we to doubt them? We cannot doubt what our acharyas have said. If our acharyas said, Jagai Madai, they were previously Jan Vijay, we accept it because all the principal associates of the Lord, they came in the Mahaprabhu's Leela. All of them. Hanuman came as Murari Gupta. So many great personalities. They came in the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Leela. All the personalities who were in Krishna Leela, Ram Leela, they all came in the pastimes of Lord Chaitanya because Mahaprabhu's pastime is a very special pastime. Very special pastime. Whereby when the Lord Krishna came as the most magnanimous incarnation. He came as the most magnanimous incarnation, whereby simply giving the Harinam, the way to develop love for God. No qualifications required. Just take it. You take it, and then you attain perfection. No qualification required, in order to take up this ordinary process and develop love for God. No other incarnation have that. No other incarnation. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is called the most Mahavadanya Avatar, the most magnanimous incarnation. So many personalities, they took birth in that. They took birth in that. And the question of Radha Krishna marriage, there was one book called, is this book written by Jiva Goswami? Jiva Goswami wrote the book. What's the name of that book? Madhava Mahotsav. That's the book written by Jiva Goswami, talking about the marriage of Radha and Krishna. And this marriage was performed in Vrindavan. The marriage was performed by Lord Brahma himself. He performed this marriage. But that does not diminish the lila of Radha and Krishna, whereby this Parakya Bhav is still there. Because the marriage was done when Radha and Krishna, when they were child, they were like small boys and girls. When the marriage was done by Radha Krishna. It doesn't mean that in Vrindavan, all the Bijabas say Radharani as Krishna's wife. No, Radharani was still known as the wife of Abhimanyu. And Krishna will always be sneaking out to go and meet Radharani. But as the pastime unfolds, is that in the reality, Abhimanyu never touches Srimati Radharani. The marriage to Radharani is simply mental only. Abhimanyu himself never even come close to Srimati Radharani. Never come close to that. So when we read esoteric scriptures, we will, we get all this information. But in our case, we should not try to get into it, especially if we find ourselves unable to understand it. We cannot really jump into it. Now, there is a book written by Srila Rupa Goswami called Lalita Madhava. If I don't know if you have read it or not. Lalita Madhava is a play. Lalita Madhava Natak is a play. And in that play, in that play, the creation of Navavrindavan was explained. And also, Srila Rupa Goswami, he explained that all the gopis of Vrindavan, they actually transformed themselves into being Krishna's wife. So which means all the Krishna's wife in Dwarka, they were transformation of the gopis of Vrindavan. Like for example, Rukmini was Chandravali, Satyabhama was Radharani, many other, all the ladies of Vrindavan. They were the Kings of Vrindavan, they were the transformation of the gopis of Vrindavan. So Srila Rupa Goswami, he explained that very nicely, authoritatively in the Lalita Madhava. Very esoteric, scriptures. So again, let us not be doubtful of the scriptures, especially if you come to this line. We have to have faith in it. And the more we have faith in it, the more we will see our own advancement. The more we see our own advancement, the more we have.
Just give him just 30 seconds, 60 seconds, please.
All right. Go ahead.
I just wanted to appreciate Ishwara Prabhu for the way he answered the question, because and this is the definition of maturity in this Vedic understanding. Because when we talk about Vedic Shastra, and Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu didn't appear just like any other incarnation. Now, if we look at that Sanskrit verse, we often quote it. They sound so simple. And Prabhu nicely referenced it indirectly here. It says that Sango Pa Gastra Pashadam. That is, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's incarnation or appearance was a unique one, because the Lord was appearing alongside with all his associates, his weapons, his confidential companions. So the uniqueness of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's appearance is a unique manifestation on its own. So, and that has nothing to defeat the statement of the Bhagavatam or what the Lord himself has said. So, and that is why Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu preached the Siddhanta of Achintya Bheda Abheda Tattva. So simultaneously one and difference. And it cannot be in any way equated with the Western theology or Western scriptures, because these are not, like Prabhu said, these are not scriptures, these are not statements, these are not writings, but are done by ordinary living beings. They are established. And I appreciate, Prabhu, the way you narrate the personality of Kavi Kanapur, because when I was studying about him yesterday, I slept till almost 1:30 a.m. because I was trying to find out certain things. And I appreciate you sharing his background and what Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, because I read all of this yesterday. So Kavi Kanapur is not just an ordinary person. And when this pure devotee speaks, they are not just speaking. And that was why I was trying to share on the Zoom platform earlier. The facts that comes out of the mouth of the pure devotees cannot be fully understood in one context. So, but thank you very much for the way, a manner in which you have answered the questions. And then it gives us opportunity to study more deeper, because there is not every tattwa can be understood just by reading once one scriptural statement. Thank you very much for the way you answered the question.
Okay, so please give me 5 seconds, huh? Just a little time. Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you. When you were speaking, I remember how Kavichana Maharaj responded yesterday. He kept saying that Krishna is inconceivable. So he said, how can we understand that it's inconceivable if there are no apparent contradictions about him? So he mentioned that yesterday. And I think that came back to my mind while you were speaking, that we can only say that Krishna is inconceivable. He is near and is far away and everything like that. Now, but this, we're not doubting. I'm not doubting, but I'm trying to preempt a situation whereby people raise these doubts and then you become speechless. So it's better that we bring them up, and then have a proper understanding of how we can clarify them when they come up. But then I will end with this one. It still sounds like doubt, but it's just to let you understand how this apparent contradiction can become so glaring. When you said, we've heard, not only you said, we've heard that Krishna never leaves Vrindavan. But here, again, there is this wonderful pastime of Krishna sending Uddhava to the gopis in Vrindavan because of the separation. So Krishna never leaves Vrindavan, but he had a reason to send Uddhava to go and send messages to appease the mind of the gopis. Still, Krishna never leaves Vrindavan. So anyway, we just have to accept the inconceivable nature of Krishna. Okay? Thank you very much.
That can be a 7 days lecture itself. How to discuss that. That can be discussed. That whole thing. There's one book called Uddhava Sandesh, written by Rupa Goswami, whereby this all, when we start getting to the esoteric scriptures, we can really see how it said that Krishna lived in Vrindavan, Visita Mosam never lived in Vrindavan. And also in the Briya Bhagavatamrita, whereby it was explained towards the end of Briya Bhagavatamrita, which was written by Sanatana Goswami, saying that how in some Leela, Krishna immediately comes back to Vrindavan after going to Mathura, and some other Leela, he doesn't come back. When you live in heaven, it stays out. So there are many, let's say, whereby the interlapping of the leelas and all that. That yes, you can easily say, okay, if we say Krishna never lived in heaven, how come he sent Uddhava to Vrindavan? But the reality is that Krishna did not send Uddhava to Vrindavan to go and pacify the Brishbasi. Krishna sent Uddhava to Vrindavan to go and learn the ways of love. Because Uddhava was a great Gyani. He was a disciple of Brihaspati, who was the guru of the demigods. So Uddhava is a great Gyani. He only have knowledge, but no prema in his heart. So in order to learn the science of love, Krishna sent him to Vrindavan. And that's why when Uddhava came to Vrindavan, he was in Vrindavan for 9 months. He could not live in Vrindavan. Because he understand that love, that knowledge have no place in Vrindavan. There's a place called Gyan Gudri. It's a place where his knowledge got defeated by the love of the gopis. So all this is there. That did Uddhava came to Vrindavan to pacify? No. Uddhava came to Vrindavan. Actually, Krishna sent him to Vrindavan to learn the ways of love. That's why Krishna sent him here. But Krishna said, we go to Vrindavan, go and tell my relative that I'm coming back. But Krishna was very merciful on Uddhava. Anyway, so that can be discussed in some other, when there's a future chance to discuss other topics. This can be discussed in future subjects like that.
Well, Hare Krishna. Dear devotees, we thank you all so much. And
Anyway,
thank you so much.
I thank Vaira Prabhu and also
Yeah.
Salika Prabhu for bringing all these points. So,
Yeah. We thank all devotees for your participation. And with that, we would like to give a break to our revered speaker. It's late. He has to take rest to attend Mangarati. So
yeah,
we humbly
it's 11 o'clock.
requesting all the devotees to kindly unmute, and we all chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra to express the best appreciation to our beloved speaker, His Grace Ishwara Prabhu, for sharing his love and wisdom with us all. As always, Jai. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Grace, Ishwara Prabhu ki jai.
Prabhupada ki jai.
Yeah. Hare